Ladies and gentlemen, all rise. Court is back in session. Welcome to another exciting episode of The Devil's Due. No, this is not another Mirror Universe episode. I am your host for the evening, Drew Celestino. Carl Duty could not be here tonight due to, as has been happening here and there, life finding a way. So hopefully Carl will be back next week, fit as a fiddle, and we'll be ready to rock once again. How are you? Hope you're doing well. Let's get caught up on some stuff. We did not want to leave you guys hanging for 2 weeks without a podcast, so here I am to give you a news rundown of the things that have been going on. I wish Carl could be here to talk about a lot of them, but you're stuck with me, so get ready for some Nintendo slanted, Grant Morrison worshipping, anti-DC, insert your cliche about me here rants. So let's have fun, shall we? But first, let's get a little, how was your week's going on? How's my week's been? Pretty good. So I have seen some ticket fiasco things in my day. I have seen wrestling tickets go on sale, and bots snatch them up. Massive lines, massive delays, people clawing and scratching to get tickets, and the ticket sites crashing or completely being overrun. And then the tickets ended up on, StubHub within seconds, of course, for prices that are ridiculously marked up into the hundreds and the thousands of dollars, and it's completely insane. I saw this happen again a couple weeks back when I got tickets, and I was very fortunate to get tickets to a one-time only event. Well, more on that in a second. In San Francisco on September the 6th, Metallica is playing the Chase Center, which is soon to open in San Francisco, California, with the San Francisco Symphony Orchestra, and I got to get a pair of tickets to that. I'm very, very excited, as you might know. This will become relevant to the show, of course, later on. But within seconds of me getting those tickets, they were gone, and they were up on StubHub for thousands, leading me to question my loyalties and my fandom to the band, thinking, I could make a pretty penny if I just sold these right now and skip the trip altogether. But no, I will be in San Francisco to see this show. I cannot wait. I'm very excited about it. On paper, I was at the original Symphony of Metallica show, the S&M show back in the 90s. However, I myself physically was not there, but a good friend of mine used my name to get tickets to go to back-to-back nights the first time they did it, and he can be viewed in the When the Bell Tolls video. Hi, Jason, and you're welcome. But next time around, me and Jason are going. Our friend Phil is going. We're all really, really excited. My wife is going as well, and we're going to celebrate my son's first birthday in San Francisco, so that's going to be pretty cool. I'm very excited. What else has happened with me? I've been really busy cranking away on the new Long Cold Dark album, my band, my music. So that's been going really well, actually. It's hard to do these kinds of things when you have a child and a job, but I will find a way to get it done because I've been sitting on these songs for the better part of 2 to 3 years now, and it's finally time to get this bad boy done. So I've been cranking away, tracking bass guitar actually this week. I got like 3 songs done on bass. So we're chipping away. The songs are done. So now it's just a matter of executing them in a recorded fashion. So I'm moving along on that, piecing it together. It's going to be cool. I got Final Fantasy VII on the Switch. That's pretty wild to see, number one, Final Fantasy on a Nintendo console once again. Well, this particular one, that is Final Fantasy VII. Because if you know your video game history, which you should, Final Fantasy was historically, back in the 90s, kids, before the 32-bit generation, Final Fantasy was a Nintendo, air quotes, exclusive kind of franchise. Final Fantasies were on the NES and the SNES, and they were very, very popular, very successful. And there was supposed to be a Final Fantasy game in development for the then not yet released Nintendo 64, or the 64DD, the 64 disc drive, which would only come out in Japan. It's unclear as to how that was going to go down. However, at a certain point, Square abandoned Nintendo and said, nope, our next Final Fantasy game is going to be on the PlayStation. The CD-ROM provides us with so much more cinematic ability, to do what we want to do. And the next game that they were planning was going to be super, super massive and could not be contained onto a Nintendo cartridge. It could barely be contained on one CD for that matter. It was actually on 3 or 4, if I recall. That game was Final Fantasy VII, and it was on the PlayStation. And it was a pivotal game in video game history, to be honest with you. So now it's on the Nintendo Switch all these years later. And it's pretty cool. It's a great port as far as I can tell. The only thing about it that I will say, I mean, it's the game you remember. It is. They didn't, magically make it HD. They're doing the remake for that, kids. And by the way, that's going to be. I have bad feels about the remake of Final Fantasy VII. Anything that's going to get remade, there's a certain magic about certain things, and when you try to redo them, often that magic is lost. So I'm skeptical of the remake. Anyway, the game on the Switch is the PlayStation Classic you remember. Some of the audio is just a slight bit different, and, I could be wrong, could be just my memory playing tricks on me. But other than that, it's the same game. And there's no load times, which is fantastic. Everything moves nice and snappy. But the only thing I wish it had, the only thing I wish Final Fantasy VII on the Switch had, would be some level of visual options. Because if you guys know me talking about old video games on this show, you know that I am a big fan of scan lines. However you can best emulate the original experience of the game on a modern television, that's what I want. That's what I want. So the text is a little too rounded and smoothed out on the Switch version, clearly by use of some kind of filter or shader. I can't exactly tell you what it is, but there's something, a scaler of some kind on it that looks wrong. And I mean, it's fine, it's legible and everything, but it just does not look authentic. And yeah, there are no scanline options whatsoever, so I can't get a nice CRT experience out of it. It's just a super crisp, blocky polygons on pre-rendered backgrounds, and there is a charm, I suppose, to looking at the game in this way, but scan lines would go a long way into kind of hiding some of the flaws and making the game look the way it was designed to look back in the 90s. But that aside, that's a nitpick. It's a solid port so far, and I'm having fun playing it again, so that's pretty cool. What else is going on? Not a lot. I mean, that's... Look, man, it's been a couple weeks. Carl's been sick with the plague, to be honest with you. Remember when I got that? Yeah, it was no fun. Now he's got it too. So, yeah, I think I sat down and watched a movie or two. I watched Christopher Robin, the Winnie the Pooh movie, which was not the tearjerker. Right? I mean, it was intended to be a tearjerker, but I wasn't quite as moved by it as I thought I would be. But the animals were very well done, so I got to give it props for that. Anyway, and that's really about it, man. Final Fantasy, Long Cold Dark tracking, going to see Metallica again because of course I am, and I've got a lot coming up this week. So next week's episode, be ready, because I'm going to have a lot to dump on y'all, because it is WrestleMania weekend. Now, WrestleMania itself, I can take or leave these days, to be honest with you, because the WWE is, as you guys know about me, because, whatever. It's a company that exists. I try not to give it too much credence. But, whatever city WrestleMania is in, the wrestling world kind of converges, and events from all companies are all over town. So this weekend, I will be traveling to New York City, and I'll be going to a couple of events. One whose name I will only say on the air with Carl's permission, but it involves wrestler Joey Ryan. I will be going to his wrestling event on Friday evening, missing NXT TakeOver, which I'm a little bummed about, but tickets were very expensive for that, and I could not justify the cost, so I'm going to Joey Ryan's event, and that is by no means a poor consolation. I love Joey Ryan, and some of the talent on his show is absolutely stellar, including Pentagon and Phoenix, and Johnny Mundo and Taya. So it's going to be a fun show. Can't wait. And then Saturday is the big Mamma Jamma for me. It is New Japan Pro Wrestling and Ring of Honor. Can't forget them, even though the card has kind of forgotten them. Haha. At Madison Square Garden in Vince McMahon's backyard. Yes, they sold it out in seconds. However, at the time they sold it out, I think a lot of fans were hopeful, even though they weren't advertised. There was belief that Kenny Omega, the Young Bucks, Cody, the Elite would be there. However, events have unfolded and All Elite Wrestling became a thing, and those guys are not going to be there. But you know what? That's totally fine, because the card that is assembled for New Japan on Saturday at MSG is actually really great. I'm really excited for it. If for nothing else, Okada is coming to MSG to challenge Jay White for the IWGP Heavyweight Championship, and I have seen Okada in the flesh. He is a god. He has a presence, and he is going to headline Madison Square Garden and hopefully regain the title, and it's going to be very exciting. I'm really psyched up for it, so this is going to be a great time. We're going to have a great time. A lot of friends are going to be there. We're all going to have it's going to be great. It's going to be awesome. I can't wait to tell you guys all about it. So, having said all of that, gotten the crap out of the way, don't forget you can share your experiences with us. You can ask us questions. You can do all the things by finding us on Facebook /Devils Do Pod, Twitter @Devils Do Pod, or of course, email us, thedevilsdopodcast@gmail.com. Hope I got that right. Carl does this usually. Thedevilsdopod@gmail.com. Thedevilsdopod@gmail.com. There, see? There it is. Told you. Of course, if I got this wrong, you can get it right by going to thedevilsdopodcast.com. That is correct. I know that. All right. There it is. There's all that stuff out of the way. Normally, we would do some reader exchanges here. However, Carl handles that portion. He manages the email address, and he's not here. So, sorry, guys, if you have sent us questions, if you have sent us any emails, I don't have them, so I cannot respond to them. So, maybe next time. Just send them directly to me. Whatever. It's all good. So let's catch up on the news that is. Let's dive into the case files, as Carl would say. Look, man, we're leading off with the big story of the day. The big story of the day. Remember all that stuff I talked about? Tickets and bots and being difficult to get seats and seats being resold, I should say, for many times their face value. Dude, Avengers Endgame tickets went on sale today. And, oh my God, I never thought I would see the day when movie tickets would become hot property, so to speak, in the way that concert tickets or wrestling tickets are. These things are hot fire right now. And they were, showings were sold out immediately. I tried to get blocks of tickets for Carl and myself and Alan and our wives and stuff, and I couldn't find anything, or people were in queues. You couldn't even get in to get tickets on the opening nights. So kind of dicey, but I managed to get a pair of tickets. We basically had to say every man for himself. Just go see the movie. We will convene later, and we will all talk about it together. But just we can't possibly all organize ourselves into one theater given the way tickets were going. So I'm going Saturday. It's going to kill me. I'm going to have to stay off the internet for like 2 days, which, I'm a web developer. It's very difficult for me to not stumble into something on the interwebs. So I'm going to try really hard to avoid all the spoilers. Well, hopefully I can. If I get spoiled, man, I swear I'm going to be so mad. So very mad. Ugh. My God, this is like the culmination of 11 years of movies and myth making and like, if I get spoiled by like a GIF or something on the internet, I'm just going to be so ticked. Or GIF, sorry for the GIF crowd. I don't care, whatever you want to call it. Anyway, Avengers Endgame, it's coming. It is coming. It is going to be huge. And because it is going to be huge, let me tell you how huge. It has already made all the money. I don't have facts and figures in front of me, but I just know when someone is reselling their opening night ticket for $500+ on eBay, and tickets are sold out for the opening nights immediately, and there's a surge of demand. Dude, Endgame is going to make all of the money, and I think I saw that it is already outpacing Infinity War's pre-sale. That's insane. Like, this is it. People are psyched. People are really psyched. I know I am. They revealed a new little teaser trailer today to coincide with the tickets going on sale. I shouldn't have watched it. I'm already, you know what I mean? Like, you got me. You got my money. I'm going. I don't need to see anything else. I want to go in without knowing a thing. But of course I watched it, because why wouldn't I watch it? And oh God, it looks so cool. It looks so good. This movie is going to be incredible. And I guess Tony does get back to Earth, and I guess Tony and Cap shake hands again, and you get the feels, you get the tingles about it, because it's like, oh my God, they were fighting each other, and Tony wouldn't call them in the last movie, but now they are together, and they're buddies again. Okay, cool. You know, there's any number of ways this could end, and now there's new theories that, like, they're going to enter the quantum realm, and Thor, Cap, and Tony, this is like the new hot rumor that. And this is all just fan theory, so I mean, I feel comfortable talking about it, because I doubt very much any of this is like gonna happen, but people are talking, so let's talk, right? They're saying, like, they're not gonna kill Cap or Tony or Thor, but they're gonna, like, get trapped in the quantum realm with Thanos so that they can write them off, but then maybe down the road bring them back. I don't know. Maybe. You know what's not gonna happen? Let me tell you what's not gonna happen. Ant-Man is not going to go into Thanos' butt and then expand and kill him. That's not happening. So, internet, please stop it. Stop saying this is a thing that's going to happen. It's not going to happen. I know it's a cute wink wink ha ha, but, like, come on, man. This is like the what was it, Bowserette thing that took over Nintendo fandom for a hot minute. And that was annoying, like, very quickly, and they wouldn't stop about it. Yeah, you're doing that again with the Ant-Man and the Thanos and the butts. Let's stop it. Stop that, fans. I saw a great picture of Stan Lee in the clouds pointing downward, and it says people talking about Ant-Man going up Thanos' butt, and it's Stan Lee pointing, and he says, "Don't make me come down there." So stop it. You're upsetting Stan, and this is not the legacy that he left us. We can do better than that. The Avengers will find a better way that does not involve butts to defeat Thanos. Anyway, all right, no more about that. Let's get out of there. Okay, let's move on. I got a little list in front of me. Where do we want to go? Okay, let's get back to video games a little bit, shall we? So, Nintendo has made all the money on the mini consoles, the NES Mini Classic, or whatever you want to call it, and the SNES Classic as well. Super well executed. Great game selection, and fun being the key word, execution of the concept. So, you know, they had little menu music that was completely era appropriate. You had save states. The emulation was spot on. You had great CRT filters on the visual options. Just really well executed products. Sony put out the PlayStation Classic, and they dropped the ball really, really hard for reasons that we have discussed on this show. So go back into our archives and find that. Yeah, Sony kind of dropped the ball, and I feel like because Sony dropped the ball, that little mini console market that was kind of hot for a hot second might be softened, might be kind of poisoned now. Now, I could be wrong, but I feel like it's not what it was, and you know, yeah. So what am I getting at? Well, what I'm getting at is Sega. The Genesis is getting a mini console, and this is kind of cool, okay, but here's the thing. Well, no, okay, it's good and bad. It's good and bad. So let's get to why this is happening. I believe this is happening because the last one that they did was made by this company called At Games. Sega, who no longer makes hardware, as you know, they've been out of the game for a while. They licensed out their stuff to this company At Games to make a little retro console in the vein of the NES Classic, the SNES Classic, and it was terrible. Bad emulation, shoddy hardware, no frills menus, no frills options, just like, I mean, it was a blatant cash grab, poorly executed machine. And fans, I know fans let them know about it, okay? So now we're getting a Sega Genesis Mini. This is a whole new animal. And this one's being made by Sega. They are not subbing this out. They're making it. They have one of their top studios making the menus. They have one of their original composers making the menu music for it. I mean, it looks legit. It could be legit. It could be what Genesis owners have really been looking for all these years, for a solid retro console they can play on an HDTV legitimately. So, pretty cool. Now, it's going to include the Genesis Mini console, 2 wired controllers. I hope they learned from the NES ones, and the cords are longer, but we'll see. They can always sell you the extensions, right? A USB power adapter, and the power cable, and an HDMI cable, because there you go, everything you need in a box. Now, region-wise, they're going to have some different games, but they've announced 10 games on the US one. There will be 40 games on it, but they've only announced 10, and those 10 are Echo the Dolphin, Castlevania Bloodlines, Space Harrier 2, Shining Force, Dr. Robotnik's Mean Bean Machine, okay, sure, Toe Jam and Earl. That sound you heard just now was Carl woo-hooing very, very loudly somewhere, wherever he is. Comics Zone, Sonic the Hedgehog, Altered Beast, and Gunstar Heroes. That's a pretty solid lineup out of the box, and that's only 10 of 40 games. I'm not going to lie, folks. I'm a Nintendo kid through and through. But this here might just have my attention to pick that up. There's some classics on there that I've never played. Now, granted, in the annals of history, Nintendo has clearly won out. Its legacy, its gaming legacy has really won out over time. Those RPGs from the SNES, your Donkey Kong Country on top of that, your first party Nintendo games like Legend of Zelda: Link to the Past and Super Mario World, their legacy has shone brighter than the Genesis's library. But having said that, I never played Castlevania Bloodlines. I never played Gunstar Heroes. I've heard those games are fantastic. So, hey, this is a chance for me to dive in and see what I missed out on. That's awesome. If the price is right, and we got 30 more games to come, I can only hope that the lineup is going to be super packed. If they put Contra Hardcore on there, it's another one I haven't played that people seem to like, except, well, maybe not the US version because it was super, super extra hard. But anyway, we'll see. Pretty cool. So look for that. Let's see. It's supposed to be released on September 19th, 2019. And you can pre-order it right now. Yeah, it's available. So I'd say go for it. $80. Take it from a retro game collector. If you were to try to get into this and get all these games, you're going to pay a lot more than that. So if the emulation is as good as we hope it will be, this looks like a solid option to play some games, some classic games, in the way that they should be played at a good price. So check that out. All right. That's the Genesis Mini. Moving on. Dude. I saw, hopefully you did too, the Nintendo Direct Nindy Showcase. Now, okay, I don't know how you guys feel about indie games, but me, I'm a huge indie game fan, and I have been for a while, okay? And Nintendo did a Nindy Spotlight not too long ago, a couple weeks ago, somewhere between our last show and now, okay? And dude, every game I saw in that thing looked really, really cool. Their Spring Nindy Showcase looked really cool. Indie games to me are, I don't know, AAA games, your big EA, Activision kind of games. I don't know. How many times have we seen the same old things getting churned out nowadays? You get your big 3D action-y games, or you've got your first-person shooter, or what really? That feels like that's all we have anymore. And I'm just kind of like, I don't know. Is there anything else out there? Yes, there is, folks. Check out the indie games. I've played indie games in the last 5 years that I would rank as high, if not better, than some AAA games I've played in that same amount of time. So the Indie Showcase was really, really cool. I thought there was some really cool stuff that got unveiled in there. I'm trying to find you a nice little exhaustive list of the ones that really stuck out, but I can't seem to find it right now. First thing that comes to mind, because they released it right away for $10, dude, Blaster Master Zero 2. They dropped as soon as the thing was over. They announced that. And man, that's really cool because the first one was really good. So for $10, get to play a sequel. That's pretty sweet. So yeah, check out the Nintendo the Nindy Showcase or the Nindy Spotlight from the spring 2019 Nindy Spotlight. Just a lot to love. There's a lot to love in there. Very unique games that got my attention, and I can't wait to purchase many of them, honestly. All right, so that's that. Now, sticking with Nintendo for a second, there's a rumor out there, and the hot rumor is Nintendo is going to introduce two new Switch models. Now, this is all speculative, okay? And it's a rumor. But if Nintendo has taught me anything, it's that they are known to do these sorts of things. Not so much with the home console, but with the 3DS line, several iterations of the DS and the 3DS are out there. So they're no stranger to periodic upgrades of their hardware. Now, you might be upset about that and say, I bought the Switch and now they're doing this, and you know what though? I get being mad at that. I said the same thing about the PlayStation 4 Pro and the Xbox One X or whatever it is now. I don't know what the big one is, but you don't have to necessarily buy it. Your Switch is still going to be perfectly fine. It's still the Switch is still like my favorite console going right now. The pickup and playability, the drop it when you're done, pick it back up, and you're right back where you left off anytime you want. That feature is like it's like the unsung hero of gaming to me, and it's so simple, but it just works perfectly. So the rumor is they're going to make one cheaper Switch model. If I had to guess what that means, it probably means Joy-Cons aren't going to be detachable, and it might lose some other functionality. Maybe it won't have the Amiibo reader thing in the controller. Maybe it won't have I don't know, but it'll probably be missing some features, and it will be cheaper than the existing Switch model. And then my best guess would be they're going to introduce some slightly beefed up, maybe a higher resolution screen Switch model. I don't know exactly. And if they did that, it would kind of render the existing Switch model to be obsolete, or at least superfluous with a better one available and a lesser one available if you want that too. I don't know, whatever. If they do it, cool. I don't need it, but if they have something up their sleeve, hey, Nintendo, go for it. The Switch at this point is just killing it on all fronts. So you're doing something right, Nintendo. I'm gonna let it ride because clearly you're doing good stuff, and good games just keep coming to the console. Other hot rumor, don't know how true it is. Probably isn't, but Target inadvertently leaked that Red Dead 2 is coming to Switch. Now, I don't even know how feasible that is. I don't even know how possible that is on a hardware level that can even be done. But Target somehow let it slip that it's coming, and people kind of ran wild with it. If that's wrong, I'm not going to be surprised. If that's right, I'm not going to be surprised either, because again, the Switch is just where stuff is happening right now. So it wouldn't shock me that, hey, we got a really hot game. It's already done super well. How could it do better? The answer right now, put it on Switch. People want it. People are going to buy it. We'll see if that pans out. I'm not sure that it will, but anyway. All right. How do I want to go now? See, the thing is, I don't want to end with just some boring rumors. I'd rather end on something a little meaty. So I'll tell you what, let's get the boring rumors out of the way. 2 boring rumors. Boring rumor number 1. Angelina Jolie is supposed to be cast in this Marvel Cinematic Universe Eternals movie. Now, number 1, I still can't believe they're even going to do an Eternals movie because they are very obscure. I don't know why I'm supposed to care about them. I don't know why anybody would really care about them at this point. Like, they're virtually the same thing as the Inhumans, and Marvel couldn't really get that off the ground either. So what are we doing here exactly? I don't know. But then again, prior to Guardians of the Galaxy coming out, who were they, right? So I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. I'll probably end up eating these words. But anyway, they're supposed to make an Eternals movie, and Angelina Jolie is supposed to be in it. Allegedly. Key word here, okay? The other hot rumor, allegedly, is that Marvel is making a Silver Surfer movie. Now, given what we know about the cosmic side of the MCU being a big priority moving forward, I mean, pretty clearly, and James Gunn was supposed to spearhead that cosmic side, and James Gunn just came back to Marvel, that very well could be true. And on top of that, you got to factor in the Fox deal is done. Marvel's toys are all back under one roof, and we're just waiting. We're counting the minutes until we see some teaser, some glimpse of the X-Men or the Fantastic Four or Doctor Doom or Galactus or the Silver Surfer in a MCU movie. And now that the deal is done and the ink is dry, I got a feeling we might see that sooner than later. So I don't know that the Silver Surfer movie is happening and they're full speed ahead, but that is the rumor that Marvel wants to do it, and it's a priority for them. We will see. We will see about that. So those are your little Marvel rumors. Okay, let's get into stuff that is actually happening. Well, no, okay. All right, hang on. I take that back. There's one more little rumor, but it is a transition, so let's transition. The transition is, we got our Marvel stuff out of the way. It's a little chilly. It snowed the other day. I need some warmth. I need warmth. What is warmth? What generates warmth? Fire. There, look. There it is. The dumpster fire. Oh, the sweet warmth of the dumpster fire. Now, it's not quite as warm as it used to be. Aquaman came out, made a bunch of money, and made some people happy. It seemed to deliver a coherent movie that actually, people enjoyed and didn't make them want to kill themselves. So, good job, Warners. You did. You're doing good there. Cool. And Shazam, by all accounts, is also really good, and it's probably going to do pretty well for itself as well. And it's another movie that reminds you that it's okay to have fun, and you don't have to be so dour all the time. So it looks like it might do well. We'll see. We will see. You know what's not going to do well? The Flash movie. Because after we came here on this show and told you that Grant Morrison and Ezra Miller were working on a script for it, well, now the rumor, we'll see, is that Ezra Miller is out. He's bailing on The Flash. I mean, come on, man. Given the history of this film, would that shock you in the slightest? Like, I just feel like Aquaman at this point is almost like the exception, and Wonder Woman to that matter. But everyone else involved in the Justice League and yada yada, that whole thing, they're wiping the decks, and everyone's getting out of there. So, a rumor is Ezra Miller is out as the Flash, which to me, hey, you know what? Good, because I didn't like him in that Justice League movie. There wasn't much to like in the Justice League movie, and he certainly was not one of the things to like in that movie. So, bye, dude. Take your comic relief elsewhere. I don't need it. All right. So, let's talk about the Joker, shall we? Because we got 2 Joker things of totally differing levels of interest on my part. So I know we don't talk about Gotham on this podcast because Gotham is like this weird train wreck television show that I cannot fathom. I cannot bring myself to even care. And it just seems like at a certain point, the makers of that show realized that, like, you know, they were kind of kooky and they started steering hard into it. Like, you know what? We know we're a disaster. Let's just steer into the disaster. Okay, sure. So I know a lot of weird stuff's going on in that show. I know a lot of nonsensical things have gone on in that show. I saw what they are calling Bane on that show, and it's just like, what? Okay, sure. And they've had this whole, like, will they, won't they thing with the Joker. Like, I don't watch the show, so I don't really know. But it's pop culture, man. You just kind of, take in stuff through osmosis in a way. So they've been doing, like, this teasing with the Joker, I guess, for, like, the whole run of the show. They've had guys that they could be the Joker in and out of the show. Well, you're getting the Joker. You are getting the Joker proper. And oh man, does he look weird. Oh my God, does he look really, really, really weird. Like bald, but strands of long, stringy hair weird. But at least he's got a white face and red lips and the purple outfit and the yellow gloves. So okay. But he's got no hair. Sure. Why not? And I guess they're actually going to introduce Batman on the show, because at this point, why wouldn't you, right? I mean, I think this is the final season. I think they want to avoid the Smallville thing where, like, they build up to the reveal of the suit and then, like, the show is over and you never see it again. I guess they're actually going to do, like, an episode of 2 with Batman proper on Gotham. We'll see how they screw up Batman. I mean, they've gone berserk on everyone else. Why not make Batman, like, completely bonkers too? So we'll see how that goes. Sticking with the Joker, though, I guess tomorrow, so by the time you hear this podcast, it will be today or yesterday or something. I don't know. We got a poster already for the Joker movie, and I guess the trailer will be dropping tomorrow or today or whatever, April the 3rd. The trailer, we're getting a teaser trailer for the Joker film. Now, I don't know that I need this movie, but I'm not even going to lie. Kind of like how I felt about Watchmen, where I said that the only way you can really approach this property at this point to make me interested in it now would be to tell an interesting original story with it. And this Joker movie that takes place like in the 70s, and it's Joaquin Phoenix or Joaquin, whatever Carl says his name is. It takes place in the 70s, and he's like a failed stand-up comedian, kind of like The Killing Joke by Alan Moore. It's a Joker story, but I mean, obviously Batman wouldn't necessarily be in this, but it's a movie about a guy who kind of snaps and turns into the Joker in the 70s. I don't know, man. That kind of perks my interest a little. And the pictures of him look disturbing enough to where I'm okay. Show me what you got. So let's all see what they're going for with this teaser. And if it's, if I'll tell you what, if it's an interesting, unique take on the mythos, I don't know. Maybe that's what we need right now. Maybe we've gotten enough of the core over the years. Maybe it's time to kind of spin it in a new way and see if we can maybe make some sense out of it. So don't quote me on that, but hey, here it is on a podcast. Quote me on that. Let's see what they got. So yeah, Joker teaser coming tomorrow. Let's see what it's all about. And let's end on this last news story of the day. You might have seen it. Apparently, allegedly, the Snyder Cut is, I'm air quoting here, real. Now, look, and on top of that, Zack Snyder said some other things, and then we're going to talk about those things. I don't believe that the Snyder Cut, as in a finished product that Warner Brothers has in their possession that they could have shown and released in theaters, but chose not to, exists. I don't think that exists. I'm sure that Zack Snyder had several cuts of his footage that needed special effects work, that needed audio, that needed ADR, that needed a lot of polish, cutting, and editing to make into a final film. I'm sure that that's kind of stuff exists in some form or another. It does not exist in a finished capacity. So let's all walk back from the ledge of the Snyder Cut, release the Snyder Cut camp. Number one, people, I can't believe those people actually exist. I still don't believe it. What do you think that this guy's movie is going to do that is going to save the murderverse that was the DC universe? Like, it's just not worth saving. It's just not worth it. It's not worth your energy getting all upset over it. It wasn't good. I mean, is it a sheer morbid curiosity to see what it could have been? Yeah, sure, I guess. But you know what? It doesn't matter. It just doesn't matter. It wasn't going to be some shining beacon of hope that was going to bring us to the future of the DC movies. There is no hope for Zack Snyder. Let me prove it to you. On top of this whole Snyder Cut business, in the same little event where he spoke, he went on this, he just dropped this statement, and it was completely, he's so flippant about it, where he said Superman and Batman kill. They just do, and just deal with it. And if you don't believe that they do, you need to, and I'm quoting, wake the F up. And he did not use F, he used the full word. Because, oh, yes, Zach, we are the fools for thinking that comic book superheroes don't kill people. Bro, they're fantasy. They're make-believe. It's all made up. They don't have to kill if you don't want them to. You clearly want them to, because your version of what a superhero, these particular superheroes, are supposed to be and represent is not what they actually are and represent to everyone in the world. This dude was a bad fit for the whole enterprise. Warner Brothers should have known that, and they should have stepped in at a certain point and said no. And that point, by the way, should have been before they approved the script to Man of Steel, where Superman's dad advocates, if not completely shrugs off the idea that Superman should have let kids die and then not use his powers for fear that humanity would be afraid of him or whatever, which is like the most anti-Jonathan Kent thing ever. Never mind the fact Superman has to kill a guy at the end of the movie after laying waste to a city with countless people dead or maimed or whatever, which Superman would not allow to happen. This guy was a bad fit, and I don't need him out there still insisting that they just kill, bro. They just do. They just do. You need to get with it. You need to get real. Yes, Zach. I need to get real about how my alien from another planet who just happens to look human but has superhuman abilities because of the Earth's yellow sun. Yes, I need to get real about him. Yeah. Yep. That's right. I'm sorry. I'm not being real about my comic book superheroes and their ethos. I'm sorry. My bad, Zach. I didn't mean to. I should have known. I mean, yeah, you're right. You're totally right, bro. This guy also completely missed the point on Watchmen, by the way. This completely missed the point of Watchmen. Oh, he made a slavish visual adaptation that is on point visually, and it hits the beats, and the script is like, it all looks right, but it's totally wrong because the tone and the message is completely different than what Watchmen was intended to be. And they put this guy in charge of Batman and Superman, and oh man, what a fiasco. And now we're back here, and they're scrambling to figure out how to reboot it all. We'll see. We will see. So yeah, that's what I wanted to end with. Just, you know what? At this point with Zack Snyder, I'm just let's put him back in the box. Put the box in the top shelf of the closet. I'm closing the door. I don't care anymore. You're done, bro. I don't care what you have to say. You were a mistake that never should have happened to these characters, and we shall not go there again, I hope. Hopefully not. Leave him in the attic where he belongs. All right. I'm done with my soapbox on the DC Murderverse and dumpster fire and yada yada. So that's about all I have to say right now. I don't have anything else to discuss news-wise, so we got to wrap things up. So hopefully Carl's back next week. If you want to get in touch with us once again, Facebook.com/DevilsDoPod, Twitter @DevilsDoPod, devilsdupod@gmail.com. Boy, I hope I got that right. I don't think I did, though. That would just be perfect, wouldn't it? Thedevilsdupod@gmail.com. Man, I was so close. Thedevilsdupod@gmail.com. But you know what? Doesn't matter. Thedevilsdupodcast.com. You can go there and all that stuff is there. You can just find us right there. All right. I'm done. I hope you guys have a great week. I'm going to have a great week. I hope. Ideally. Wrestling's awesome. And yeah, we'll check you next week. So until then, as Sylvester Stallone once said, who is a jerk?